Mr. Dud. To our 5 distinguished panelists, please join me to the stage. Okay, good afternoon, Sir Ronald, Rachel, Arturo, Pak Anang, Pak Dudi. So before we begin our session, I would like to remind that we have a maximum of 10 minutes of talk of each of you, and then we will come to the question and answer for about 15 minutes, but you can make it shorter. So, ladies and gentlemen, we come to our first speaker, our panelist, Mr. Ronald Jansen, Assistant Director of the United Nations Statistic Divisions. He is responsible for the division work on the data innovation and capacity development strategies, which includes leading the intergovernmental process for innovation of official statistics and implementing the capacity development pillar in the Cape Town Global Action Plan in support for the 2030 Agenda of Sustainable Development Goals. He is specifically supporting the work of the UN Committee of Experts on Big Data for Official Statistics, UNCEBD, its task team, the Regional Hub and Global Hub, and also its UN Global Platform. The platform is a collaborative environment for the global statistical community to jointly execute data innovation projects, share data services and methods. It's really nice. Today we have an opportunity to talk with Ronald here, and Ronald will talk about the introduction of the UNCEBD and the big data and data science for official statistics. So I will give the time to Ronald. Time is yours, Ronald.
Thank you very much. I don't know if there would be slides or not necessarily, but no?
Yeah, there are slides.
Okay, there you go. Just a few slides. What I would like to do, and I'm very happy to be able to speak to you today, this afternoon. It's a great occasion. I'm very happy that I've witnessed the launch of the regional hub on big data, data science of here in Indonesia. What I would like to do in a few slides, and it won't take too much of the time here, is put this in the framework of the intergovernmental process of official statistics under the United Nations. I'll say a little bit about the Statistical Commission and then about the Committee of Experts on Big Data and Data Science. If I go to the next slide. Yep. So every year, and it's always around March, the beginning of March, the chief statisticians from around the world get together to decide on the way forward on official statistics. So there will be decisions on international recommendations on all kinds of areas of statistics to make sure that data between countries are comparable, that we use the same kinds of concepts and definitions, if this is in economic or social or environmental statistics, so that we can work together internationally and compare numbers in the same way. We also compare best practices, I mean, how we actually compile statistics between countries, so we want to share experiences at the international level, and we also like to help within this global community of official statistics. We like to help and build capacity in all of the UN member states. One of the items on the agenda for the last 10 years was on big data. It's actually going to be called data science on the upcoming Statistical Commission. If I go to the next slide. In 2014, the Statistical Commission wanted that we do more on big data and data science for statistical offices. So how can we use mobile phone data, social media data, satellite data, scanner data, and more of those kinds of large data sources, as well as associated technologies and data science. How can we use that better in our statistical offices? Over the last 10 years, a lot of work was done, and it's a bit reflected in this diagram. In the light blue underneath, I cannot really show it to you, but our various task teams that have done work on use of Earth observations for agriculture and other kinds of official statistics, use of mobile phone data, use of scanner data and web scraping for price statistics, but also some cross-cutting areas like privacy enhancing technologies is a very active task team to see that if we use very detailed data, that we still be able to access it while protecting privacy. So a lot of work has been going on there, and to stimulate capacity building, to stimulate training in new skills and new methods, we especially relying on regional hubs, and that's to the right side of this diagram. So various regional hubs, which now also includes the regional hub here in Indonesia. The two global hubs that we have are more specialized. The regional hubs are really more general on big data and data science and focused foremost on building capacity. The two global hubs are specialized in certain areas. The one in Spain is specialized on artificial intelligence for environmental sustainability, and the one in China on remote sensing for agriculture statistics, as well as on measurement and analysis of e-commerce and digital economy. So capacity building, because the area which we're looking at here is innovation. We need to have additional skills and additional partnerships for these statistical offices. If I go to the next slide. In the area of training, what we try to do with the global statistical community with this task team on training is to assess where statistical offices are in being able to use new data sources, being able to use big data, and how far offices are in their data science skills. So we have a maturity model, we have various competencies frameworks, which means what kind of skills are really necessary in certain areas to develop it, what kind of curricula of courses do you need. So there is a lot of attention on training, and again, coming back to the regional hub here in Indonesia, these are the kinds of things that the regional hub can also help in. If I go to the very last slide of my short presentation, just wanted to point out that collaboration is not just among the statistical offices. We really need in this area close collaboration with academic institutes, with private sector institutes, and other institutes who are specialized in these new kinds of technologies and new kinds of data sources. And with that, I give back to you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Ronald. It's really nice. Can we give applause to Ronald? It's really nice and interesting to know what have been doing by the UNCEBD and what the UNCEBD committed to do in the near future. So I will be coming back to you again with the question and answer, but moving along to our next speaker, we welcome our second speaker, Ms. Rachel Bevan, the Director of the Statistic Division of the United Nations Economic and Social Commission For Asia and the Pacific, UNESCAP. Rachel was appointed to this position on November 1st, 2021. Rachel has more than 30 years of experience in the United Kingdom government, where she worked on various topics, including the modernization of statistics, sustainable development goals, general equality, youth, labor market, the economy, good governance, and statistical literacy, management, and many things. She is one of the founders of the Inclusive Data Charter, which was launched at the 2018 high-level political forum to mobilize political commitments and to advance inclusive and disaggregated data. Rachel also led a program on monitoring the Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs, with the UNSD, and they established a data science hub with the Office for National Statistics of the United Kingdom to explore the use of data science, in particular, geospatial as well as big data to monitor the progress of the SDGs. This is really interesting. So I will be giving the time to Rachel to introduce the talk. Time is yours, Rachel.
Thank you so much. And thank you for this opportunity to share today on this really important day when you're actually establishing this new regional hub. And it's great to be here with you. So in my role as Director of Statistics for ESCAP, we work with 53 different countries across the region. And obviously that means each one of them has a very specific context. And that's so important in all of the work that we do. So what I wanted to just talk about briefly today, if we go on to the next slide, please, is just to say a little bit about the work that we see going on across the region in terms of big data and data science. And that covers really every single part of the data value chain, as you can see here. From the very first part of data collection, the identification of data, the collection and processing of that. We really see NSOs moving from paper-based collection, nearly all of them have moved on to computer-assisted data collection, but we also see countries beginning to move towards self-completion. And we're so actually filling in the information from themselves, for instance, for a census. But we also see other examples of work like web scraping, where countries are taking information directly from the internet and using it then to compile perhaps part of their consumer price index, or using it to estimate tourism statistics. And another big area we see is in terms of the use of satellite imagery, where it's being used for things like estimating local levels of poverty, but also to track illegal or even legal fishing activity. But I think in terms of lessons that we can learn from that just is that it's not necessarily that easy. Yes, there are lots of new ways and new tools, new techniques, new data sources, but it often takes quite a lot of work. And also we should be very aware when we're looking at things like big data sources, they're often a really good way to supplement the traditional surveys and censuses, but not necessarily to replace them. We've seen satellite imagery being used very successfully to help plan a census and also to update a census estimates or to cover perhaps part of the country which you can't actually reach due to conflict or some other reason. So I think it's really important to realize that they're not necessarily simple solutions out there. The second part of the value chain that we see here is in that area of kind of the publication of data, the analysis, release, and dissemination of data. And there's huge potential there to really change the way in which NSOs are working. So we've seen a lot of NSOs beginning to make use of open source software like R, and that's really helping to automate business processes, which is saving time, but it's also improving quality. So that's a fantastic area I think that we can look at for all NSOs, because if we can do things that save time, then that really does help to free up the time to do other things. So the third area where we see a lot of work going on is that kind of uptake of data. And we've seen a lot of changes in the way in which data is being produced. So the change from just producing tables in a paper document to producing interactive dashboards, mobile apps like the one which Singapore is using. In the fourth area we see as well, and that data value chain, is about the impact of data, the use, change, and reuse of data. And here we can see a lot of work going on, particularly actually in Indonesia, with One Data initiative, which really does attempt to bring all the data together and to really help that data to be used and to be accessible to users and to be reused as well. But underpinning all of those aspects of the value chain, what's really important as well is that we need the standards, but we also need the capability. And if we move on to the next slide, I mean, I think in that area of capability, that's one of the areas where the regional hub can really help. So not just in terms of sharing tools and data, if we go on to the next slide, but also sharing knowledge and experience. We know that a lot's going on and we are sharing a lot. We share through our ESCAP Asia Pacific Stats Cafes, which are open to everyone and where we hear a lot of countries sharing work they're doing. Perhaps what we don't hear so much about, though, is sharing what doesn't work. And that might be, again, another area that we can look at in the future, is to perhaps get better at sharing what works, but also what doesn't work, and to learn from that. We know that there's more that can be done in that area of automating business processes, and we think that's really an area of huge potential. And in terms of developing new tools and methods, that's definitely an area that we see the regional hub might be able to help with. But I think what we would really encourage in that is to really think about how we can use things like mentoring, capacity building, to really work with countries to develop the right kind of tools and methods which are really appropriate and work for their context. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Rachel. It's really nice to understand how the big data and data science have been changing the work of the national statistical offices, and you already mentioned the case in the Asia and the Pacific. Thank you very much. So, moving along to our third speaker, my colleagues from the ASEAN Development Bank, Mr. Arturo Martinez Jr. So I will be reading his short bio. Mr. Arturo Martinez Jr. is from the ASEAN Development Bank. He is the statistician at the Economic Research and Development Impact Department of the ASEAN Development Bank, or ADB. Mr. Arturo works on the Sustainable Development Goals indicator compilation, particularly the poverty statistics and big data analytics. Before joining ADB, he was a research fellow at the University of Queensland in Australia, where he also received his PhD in social statistics. Arturo also contributed to various research projects such as the key indicators for Asia and the Pacific in 2023. Without further ado, I will be giving the time to Mr. Arturo that will be talking about navigating the future, embracing data integration. So the time is yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Pat. And it's a pleasant afternoon to everyone. Really privileged to be with all of you, of course, with other distinguished panelists today. But before I walk you through some of the exciting initiatives that we're doing at the Asian Development Bank, I want to make a confession. I was watching the students of STIS earlier. I was watching with awe, and I'm really amazed that you're raising such multi-talented students. And I can't help but wonder if I took statistics at STIS, and that's something that you're requiring from your students, I might not be able to make it into the program. But kidding aside, I think it really speaks volumes about the need to have multi-skilled data scientists and statisticians. The world we are in now is really complex. Yesterday, Rachel presented at the ACSS, and one of the slides, Rachel, you showed a very stark picture about the progress of Asia and the Pacific with respect to SDGs. If we could go to slide number 4, it really shows that the region, particularly Southeast Asia, and I think it's the same if you look at the world based on the SDG report released by UNSD, we're actually lagging behind most of our SDG targets. And in fact, in some targets, were regressing. And I think we are really at the center of intersecting development challenges. We are still at the we were still experiencing the lingering impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. You have increased cost of living, you have geopolitical conflicts, and of course, you have the looming threats of climate change. All of those required very nuanced, timely, accurate, and granular data that can inform our policymakers. So if you could just go to slide number 5. At ADB, we are optimistic that things could get better. In fact, our forecast suggests that by 2030, we can still actually manage to reduce extreme poverty by less than 1% in developing Asia. However, there will still be 8% in moderate poverty and another 29% in economic vulnerability. And that represents a significant fraction of the total population of the region who will still be vulnerable to this intersecting development challenges. If we could move to the next slide, please. As I hinted earlier, our world is becoming more complex, and so does the data required by policymakers. So we really need detailed, timely data more than ever. And of course, availability of actionable data is particularly important in designing policies, especially for the most vulnerable segments of societies. We're doing a lot on big data, which is really good. I think what we need to enhance as part of the statistics community is our agility to anticipate what will happen next. So for example, now that we're doing a lot of big data, we have generative AI on our doorstep. We should be agile enough as part of the statistics community to at least start looking into the potential of this disruptive technology. These are things that perhaps 5 years from now, we will see more applications of it, and probably it will really dominate the way big data, the different types of big data that we are working now is in the context of producing development statistics. So if you could just move to slide number 10. So at ADB, these are exactly the questions that we ask ourselves as we collaborate with national statistics offices and other development partners. And we do this with the objective of drawing lessons from the different applications of big data. Earlier, Rachel, you mentioned about we should really work hard on understanding, in addition to what works, what doesn't work. Because we don't want to duplicate efforts if other people have already established that some of these initiatives are not working. So we should also highlight both positives and negatives. I definitely agree on that point, that this is something that we should be further work on and further enhance our capacity as part of the statistical community. So if I could just briefly walk you through some of the things that big data related initiatives that ADB has been working on. So we are leveraging on Nightlights to provide a more timely and granular proxy measure of economic activity. If we could jump to slide number 14. We also use Nightlight data to map the spatial distribution of poverty. In fact, beyond Nightlights, we can actually also harness daytime imagery that gives a lot of richer information that you can train your algorithm to map the distribution of poverty and other development indicators. And in addition to that, we're also looking into the applications of remote sensing data for agricultural, to enhance the compilation of agricultural statistics. And in fact, our experts are helping build technical capacity in national statistics offices on the use of new data collection technologies that includes GPS, GIS, and drones. And this, of course, laid the foundation for higher frequency and precise agricultural monitoring systems. You could just jump on my last slide, slide number 19. As I've hinted earlier, I think we have made substantial stride in terms of big data related initiatives. 6 years ago, we did a survey with UNESCAP, and we found that nearly half of the responding national statistics offices at that point said that what they found a stumbling block in terms of doing big data related initiatives is access to big data or understanding the different potential application. And things have changed nowadays. But still, we could do more. We should continuously strengthen our capacity and agility as new forms of data continuously emerge. AI is developing exponentially, and in general, new ways of compiling and analyzing data interact with ever-changing data needs of policymakers. So at ADB, we're always excited to pursue potential collaboration. As mentioned by Ronald, this is a space where we need to forge a lot of partnerships with academic institutions, public and private sector, so that we can really move forward to ensure that we're delivering to the data needs of our policymakers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Art. Thank you very much, Art, and also thank you very much for the compliment for the student of Polytechnic Statistica STS. That's not only have the capability in statistics and data science, but also have in arts. So can we give applause again to the student of Polytechnic Statistica STS? Thank you, Art already mentioned how we can use the big data and data science and what the ADB have been doing on the initiative of big data and data science to have an indicator of for SDGs. Thank you so much. So moving forward to our fourth speaker, our fourth panelist is Mr. Anang Laksono from ASEAN Stats. Pa Anang is the head of ASEAN Stats, the statistic division of the ASEAN Secretariat. He leads ASEAN Stat in playing their roles as a technical arm of the ASEAN Community Statistical System, or ACSS, including initiating the formulation and coordinating the implementation and monitoring of statistical policies, methodologies, and standards for the harmonization of ASEAN statistics, as well as undertaking the compilation of ASEAN statistics, managing database, developing statistical products and services to disseminate and communicate ASEAN statistics. Prior to joining the ASEAN Secretariat, Pa Anang had 19-year career in BPS Statistics Indonesia. He was a core team member in designing and preparing the BPS Comprehensive Transformation Program. He played an important role in developing BPS Statistical Business Framework and Architecture and BPS Quality Assurance Framework, as well as a leading role in change management. Really interesting. So I will be giving the time to Pa Anang. The time is yours.
Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. I should add my introduction that I was graduated from STIS as well.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you dance and sing as well, Pa Anang?
I could.
Good, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, our colleagues here have provided very comprehensive background as well as explanation on the need of big data. But before going through my slides, I would like to introduce our work in ASEAN. If at national level, including in Indonesia, you have national statistical system, then in regional level, in ASEAN, we have what we call ASEAN Community Statistical System. And the purpose, the roles, and the nature of activity is also similar, like at national level, which is to strengthen interagency cooperation for the development of statistics, which include institutional strengthening, how we can provide better response to greater data needs, how we can enhance dissemination and communication of statistics, as well as how we can keep continuing capacity building, especially in statistics. And our cooperation cover a wide range of statistical areas: economics, social, demographic statistics, and covering from data collection, data processing, as well as data dissemination. And most recently, big data is one of them. Yeah. Why? Because similar like in Indonesia, maybe as statistician or statistic community, recently you feel that the needs of statistical data is rapidly evolving. But when we consider the adequacy of resources, the adequacy of capacity, the speed is not as fast as the speed of the need itself. Yeah. We always feel that it is always difficult to conduct or to establish new survey, for example, or we always difficult to conduct or to find data sources and to implement statistical methodology in a conventional way. Yeah. So that's why new alternative sources like administrative record and also big data become an opportunity. And I agree with Mr. Arturo here actually that we should see from both sides, yeah, not always the challenges and difficulties, but we can see the opportunity as well. So big data is one of opportunity for official statistics to enhance the data production so that we can always catch up with the needs. Yeah. Can we go to the slide? So the cooperation in ASEAN related to big data actually was started in 2018. Yeah. At that time, all 10 ASEAN member states was in the view on the challenges and also the opportunity that I just mentioned. And then we would like to start initiative how these 10 member states can utilize big data, yeah, for the purpose of enhancing official statistics in the region, yeah, both at national and also in regional level. Yeah. But before moving forward, we soon find out big challenges, which is the variety of the capacity among 10 member states. Yeah. Not only the technical capacity related to big data, but even from the beginning, yeah, the difference in the awareness, yeah, level of awareness that actually big data can support official statistics. Yeah. That's why after 2018 and 2019, we start the initiative with capacity building. It was started by building common awareness, yeah, among the leaders. Yeah. So we started the first workshop in 2021 by targeting the leaders in National Statistics Office, yeah, on how big data can support the enhancement of official statistics. And then it were followed by a series of technical capacity buildings covering data science and data engineering also. And then after that, starting 2022 and this year also, all 10 ASEAN member states and as well as ASEANStat, our division in ASEAN Secretariat, we try to implement pilot project on utilizing big data to support official statistics. Can we go to next slide? But of course, like as I remember Rachel and also Arturo mentioned, yeah, that when we are dealing with the data, we should consider all the effect. Yeah, we always seek good quality of statistic. How we can provide good quality data to the users, but also we should consider from the perspective of our data sources. Yeah. So that's why in our initiative in big data also, when we develop the concept note, we consider how when we implement big data initiative, we can produce good quality data, but without giving any negative effect to individual or group of individual. That's why ethics and legal becomes important, yeah. Particularly in this region, we have multiple ethnics, multiple religion, we have different social life, that it can affect how they see or our image, yeah, uh, in social life, yeah, whether it is legally feasible or not, yeah. That's why ethics, legal environment for data protection and data security is really important. Next slide, please. Yes, and when we would like to utilize big data, because this is a regional cooperation, regional initiative, we should have same view also on the framework, yeah, on the framework, how we will conduct our activity. And in this case, one important thing is the objective, yeah, because big data is new issue, new opportunity. And then what we would like to do is to utilize big data to enhance official statistics. Then we should be clear on the objective, yeah. For example, if we want to enhance official statistics, which statistic, yeah, in economics, in social, which indicator, and we should be clear also in the objective into what extent the big data can support the enhancement of statistics, yeah. Whether we will support the calculation of indicators, or we support for addition, just providing additional data, or to make it the dissemination to be more frequent. So there are many kind of objectives that the statistician should be clear, yeah. And then on data identification and evaluation as well, because big data normally we need to be sure, yeah, on the data sources, the reliability, the quality of the data, and the availability of metadata, yeah. Because without available metadata, then it will be difficult for us whether the data is suitable or appropriate enough to meet our objective. And then next thing to consider is the data usability, whether the data can be used directly without any additional process, because one aspect of big data is efficiency, yeah? One aspect of big data is efficiency, but if we collect big data and when we want to utilize, it required huge amount of resources, then it will be questionable as well. And another question that we need to ensure is whether big data can be integrated with the existing data system within statistical authority. And last but not least, of course, how we can ensure, yeah, the quality of the data itself. Next slide, please. So those principles and framework that we are using, yeah, during the implementation of pilot project, and of course, in the future when all these 10 member states will really implement for to be used in enhancing official statistics. But during the implementation of pilot project, we met some challenges. Here I show some of the most important ones. The first one is, of course, capacity. It mentioned several times by Arturo as well. It's related to human capacity, technological capacity, which are varied in the region. That's why during the implementation of pilot project, we cannot make common target, yeah, for each country, yeah, because different level of capacity, different level of readiness, and because in ASEAN we want everybody to move forward, then we will try to close the gap of capacity within countries. So we implement ASEAN Help ASEAN approach, and thanks to Indonesia and Malaysia to be the lead in this initiative, and they were, the last 2 years, they were providing capacity building or assistance to other member states. And legal environment also become an issue, because sometimes the data is there, the data is available, but statistic authority cannot access because of legal reasons. Yeah. So I think it needs support in a more high level, at country level, how the regulatory framework can empower statistic authority also to be easier to access the data. Yeah. Because other authority, for example, tax office or custom offices, they can access the data easily. So maybe we can think also how the regulatory framework can empower statistic authorities as well. And the last main challenges is the methodology. Methodology in data collection, how we collect big data, methodology in data processing, and the methodology on how we can use the big data for official statistics. Sometimes if we think in a conventional way, of course, if the data sources come from big data, in many cases, we could not meet official statistic requirement. Yeah? So in this case, we are encouraged how we can develop new methodology so that we can find a way in between, yeah, in between from the lack or the closeness of big data to the conventional methodology of statistics. So and the ideal methodology, yeah, that usually we do to produce and disseminate statistics. So I think this is the summary of our experience. We will welcome if you need more explanation. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Pak Anang. Thank you very much again, Pak Anang, for explaining the innovation in ASEAN and the ASEAN member countries on utilizing the big data for the official statistics. So moving along to our last but not least speaker. So we already hear the opinion and the experience from international organizations. So we would like to hear the perspective from the government agency. So we have Mr. Dudi Hidayat, the Director of Research and Technology and Innovation Policy Formulation at the National Research and Innovation Agency of Indonesia, BRIN. Pak Dudi earned bachelor degree from the Delft Institute of Technology in the Netherlands, master's degree from the Sussex University, the United Kingdom, and a PhD from the University of Indonesia. Prior to his current position, Pak Dudi was head of the Center for Policy and Management Research for Science, Technology, and Innovation at the Indonesian Institute of Sciences. So I will be giving the opportunity to Pak Dudi to introduce the perspective from the government agency, especially in Indonesia. The time is yours, Pak Dudi.
Thank you, Pak Ari. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat sore, good afternoon. Peace and prosperity be upon all of us. It is an honor for me to be here among esteemed colleagues and experts to discuss a topic that lies at the intersection of innovation, technology, and the essential fabric of evidence-based policy making, i.e. data science and official statistics. Distinguished excellencies, distinguished panelists, and esteemed guests, as the Director for Research, Technology, and Innovation Policy Formulation, I witnessed the transformative power of data and its pivotal role in shaping policies that drive progress. In a number of developed countries, the amalgamation of data science and official statistics has unleashed unparalleled opportunities, fundamentally altering how we perceive and address societal challenge. Data science, with its sophisticated algorithm and analytical tool, can you show this next slide, please? Yes. Has opened doors to unlocking valuable insight from vast and diverse data sets. It empowers us to discern patterns, forecast trends, and derive actionable intelligence. When combined with official statistics, metric, meticulously crafted and verified, the result is a robust foundation upon which informed decisions and policies can be constructed. So the marriage of this discipline offers an unprecedented vantage point, allowing us to glean not just information, but invaluable knowledge within it. It enables us to decipher intricate correlation within social, economic, and environmental realm, painting a comprehensive canvas of our society's intricacies. In the realm of policy formulation, the fusion of data science and official statistics act as a compass, guiding us toward evidence-based strategies. It grants us the capability to tailor intervention, optimize resource allocation, and assess the impact of policies with precision and foresight. And furthermore, it facilitates agile responses to dynamic challenges, empowering us to adapt swiftly and effectively. However, this convergence is not without its challenges. The ethical use of data, ensuring privacy and security, remains a paramount concern. Equally vital is the imperative to bridge the digital divide, ensuring equitable access to data and technology to harness its benefit across diverse demographic and geographies. Moreover, the sheer volume and complexity of data pose a continuous challenge. To effectively utilize this deluge of information, we must equip ourselves with the requisite tools, talents, and framework. And investing in data literacy, fostering interdisciplinary collaboration, and fortifying infrastructure are pivotal steps toward leveraging the full potential of data science and official statistics. The next slide, please. So distinguished panelists, esteemed guests, one technique from data science and official statistics that plays a significant role in shaping science and technology policy is predictive analytics. In BRIN, we are developing this technique and we are equipping with the skills and also infrastructures to be able to do this predictive analytics. Now, predictive analytics leverage statistical algorithm and machine learning technique to analyze historical data and make prediction about future events or trends. In the realm of science and technology policy, our research, technology, and innovation policy, this technique can be immensely valuable in several ways. First, in resource allocation. Predictive analytics can assist policymakers in forecasting future technology trends or scientific breakthrough by analyzing historical data on research funding, technological advancement, or scientific publication. Government or funding agencies can allocate resources more effectively to emerging field or promising research areas. In BRIN, it is in our deputy, and one of the directorate is on Directorate for Measurement of Science and Technology Development. They are using these kind of techniques to determine the resource allocation. Secondly, this technique can also be used in innovation prioritization. So understanding pattern from data help policymakers like us identify areas with the highest potential for innovation. By analyzing data on patents, R&D investment, or academic publication, policymakers can prioritize support for specific sectors or technologies that are likely to yield significant societal or economic benefits. Thirdly, risk assessment. Predictive models can evaluate risks associated with scientific or technological endeavors. For instance, analyzing historical data on safety incident, ethical consideration, or regulatory challenges can aid policymakers in assessing potential risks associated with the adoption or implementation of specific technologies. Fourthly, the policy impact analysis. Data-driven predictive models can simulate the potential impact of policy intervention on scientific research or technological development. By examining historical policy implementation and their outcomes, policymakers like us can make informed decisions about the potential consequences of new policies before its implementation. And lastly, predictive analytics can be used as an informed decision-making. It can help policymakers make evidence-based decisions by analyzing data on scientific collaboration, technology transfer, or innovation ecosystem. Policymakers gain insight into the potential outcome of their policy decision, thereby making more informed choices. Ladies and gentlemen, but it should not be forgotten that there are a number of critical issues surrounding data science and official statistics in the context of policy formulation. These issues form the bedrock upon which responsible data-driven decision-making is built. The first issue is about the ethical use of data that has been also mentioned by another speakers. It is protecting privacy, ensuring security, and obtaining informed consent during data collection, storage, and utilization also are very important. And also addressing the algorithm bias and mitigating biases inherent in data through robust governance framework and algorithm audit is imperative. We are now working on the design of ethical guideline in developing generative AI, so such considerations should be discussed further. Secondly, digital divide and access data. This is another critical issue. So bridging the digital divide is crucial for equal participation and benefit from data insight. Efforts should focus on enhancing digital infrastructure, which is in our case, I think we need, there are still a lot to be done, improving literacy and ensuring inclusive data collection method to provide equitable access to data resources across communities. Third, data volume and complexity. So managing the sheer volume and complexity of data requires advanced capabilities. Investing in scalable technologies like AI, fostering data science skill, and developing standardized data format can facilitate better integration and utilization of diverse data sets. In BRIN, we are working all in this area. We are developing, we are doing research, and also we are developing skills. And we are also have a program to scholarship in this area. Fourthly, data literacy and interdisciplinary collaboration. Enhancing data literacy among policymakers and fostering interdisciplinary collaboration is vital. Equipping individuals with the skills to interpret and communicate data-driven insight amplifies evidence-based decision-making and innovation potential. The fifth is about sustainability and impact assessment. Evaluating the real-world impact and sustainability of policies derived from data-driven insight is crucial. Establishing metrics for assessing policy effectiveness ensure alignment with long-term societal goals. And lastly, we do realize that international collaboration on data sharing is very important. So therefore, I think BRIN would like to congratulate BPS with the establishment of this regional hub on big data and data science for Asia and the Pacific. And I can assure that BRIN can collaborate, and we will support BPS in the development of the hub. Okay. So establishing standard for data exchange facilities and coordinated response to global issues. We are very looking forward to having this hub and gain benefit from the establishment of this hub. So lastly, the last slide, I think we need to address these challenges, and in addressing these challenges, we need to a multifaceted approach. Yeah? We need to develop technology, technological advancement. We need to develop policy framework. We are working now on the AI strategies, and we are working on the guideline of AI and another regulation to promote the development of this technology. We need to develop an educational initiative. In this respect, the Ministry of Education is also working on this. And of course, collaborative efforts are essential. So effectively navigating these challenges unlock the full potential of data science and official statistics to drive inclusive, sustainable, and meaningful policy formulation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pak Dudi. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that we have a lot of questions to be asked to our distinguished panelists, but unfortunately our time is very limited, and I would like to say again thank you very much for all of five panelists today for sharing their perspective and the organizational knowledge and experience towards the utilizing big data and data science for the official statistics. Thank you very much, Ronald. Thank you very much, Rachel, Art, Pak Anang, Pak Dudi. Thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, I would like also to invite and encourage all of you to join us again for the second day conference tomorrow, where more interesting topics will be discussed. Tomorrow, we will have a parallel session of paper presentation starting from 8 a.m. in the morning, where many of the ideas and solutions for the data science and official statistics will be discussed. And afternoon, we will have a second plenary session with 3 distinguished speakers. Professor James Brown from the University of Technology, Sydney, Australia. Dr. Arif Gusnanto from the University of Leeds, the United Kingdom. And Professor Wayne Wopke from the University of New South Wales, Australia. Moderated by Dr. Lia Huliatus Suada. Tomorrow event will be held in hybrids, both online by using Zoom meeting and YouTube Live, and offline at Polytechnic Statistica STIS. Please stay tuned to the program schedule at the website icdsos.stis.ac.id. Finally, to conclude this session, I would like to say thank you very much for all of our panelists, and thank you very much for your attention in today's session. We hope that you enjoy our conference, and see you tomorrow, and thank you very much.
Okay, can some of the documentation team take photos? Okay, give a big smile, and 3, 2, 1. Okay, please give a big applause to our moderator and panelists today. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the closing of the day 1 of the International Conference on Data Science and Official Statistics. As Pak Ari said, tomorrow we still have the second day at the Polytechnic Statistica STIS. The honorable ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of this event. Throughout the last 4 days, we've witnessed remarkable contribution from each of you. The insightful question asked during the session, the vibrant discussion and the networking breaks and the genuine connection formed, these are the elements that have enriched our collective experience. Thank you. On behalf of the BPS Statistics Indonesia, from the bottom of our hearts to every participant who took the time to be here today, your presence, your engagement, and your enthusiasm have inspired us. See you.
Kalau sawah ada Mbak, 1 aja, kurang lebih setengah hektar. Kalau dibilang mungkin tani gurem lah kalau ada salah. Kalau nanam Mbak, 1 kali dalam setahun, benih lokal, lain benih Jawa soalnya. Biasanya hasilnya kada banyak sih, Kalau ada lebihan baru segan dijual ke pasar. Ya sebujurnya enak banget dijual terus supaya bermanfaat segan banyak orang. Tapi kalau ada cukup ya segan kebutuhan sehari-hari ya alhamdulillah. Biasanya itu melancang anakannya itu di bulan Februari, lalu di bulan Maret dipindah ke sawah aslinya. Proses itu bisa makan waktu ya seharian itu, lumayan waktunya. Tapi kalau hujannya lama, terus-menerus, lahan menjadi terendam. Jadi kita harus istirahatkan lahannya dulu. Nanti setelah surut, baru bisa tanam kita.
Ladies and gentlemen, please kindly leave the room because the room will be cleaned up for our gala dinner tonight. And for your information, the gala dinner will start at 6:30 p.m. at the same place. Thank you.